Hello, future millionaires. This is Aztec, and this is the CSC. I get asked very often, where are we going? What is Bitcoin going to do next? And today we're going to dig into that. We're going to talk about where I think Bitcoin's going, where we are in the adoption curve of cryptocurrency, blockchain. And this all was spurred from this episode from the Cardano effect just recently. And in this episode, they were actually talking to Crypto Lark, so it was very interesting, guys. You guys have to check this out. But one of the topics that came up was, where are we, with cryptocurrency? And it really just got me thinking, so I wanted to go ahead and break it down, kind of give my own kind of spin on this. So definitely stay tuned for that. Now, we have a lot of different things I'm going to talk about today, guys. We're going to talk about my channel. I have a new Twitter. We're going to talk about the average user. And we're going to bring up this chart that we haven't seen in a very long time. It hasn't been circulating. I know it was circulating back in 2017 pretty often. But we're going to go over this chart also. Also, how many people are using Bitcoin in 2019? We're going to talk about this Cardano effect episode and also Sebastian's progress update. So a lot to come in this video, so stay tuned. Basically, though, I want to talk about, overall the general theme of this video is where are we and where are we going? Now, this is the Brave New Coin Liquid Index for Bitcoin weekly chart. And when they were talking on this episode just recently, it made me think of the chart. Also, guys, it was really cool, very humbling for them to even mention me on this episode. You may see me collaborate with them in the future. So also look out and look forward to that. Shout out to them. I mean, they're Sebastian, Rick, and Philippe. They're all rock stars. They've really brought a lot of things to light. Cardano is no joke. It's so complex, and the way they explain things, make it humorous, and are so savvy. It really is a good show. So check out their show. Subscribe to their channel if you haven't. You know that Cardano is my favorite project. But anyways, guys. Looking at this chart, I wanted to go ahead and bring up a couple points. Now, again, this is the Brave New Coin Liquid weekly Bitcoin chart. And I wanted to kind of point out these retracements here on this chart. This is the logarithmic chart, so that's why it looks so strange. And you can see back here in 2011, the first retracement. You can see this retracement here in 2013 and another in 2014, and this is the current bear market that we are experiencing here. Now, what is very interesting, look at this chart, guys. Tell me what you see that is sticking out, kind of like a sore thumb. What do you see? What I see is that every one of these retracements looks totally different. Look at this one. It's this huge upward movement, a drop. It looks kind of like a bigger mountain than this retracement here, but the ups and downs are definitely different than this one here. And here, considering this 2014 retracement or bear market, you can see that it looks a lot longer. There's definitely more weekly bars involved. And this here looks similar to this bear market that we're experiencing now, but the ups and downs are definitely different. The weekly moving averages are definitely different than what we're currently experiencing, and they're just different all throughout. I mean, everything is different. The way the moving averages moved, the way the bars, the length of the weekly candles, everything's different. Very, very different. Even the percentages, and that's why I wanted to I kind of charted this out. You can see here that back in 2011, 2011, we had a 93% drop. Here in 2013, we had a 75% drop. Here in 2014, we had an 85% drop, nearly 86. And here, if you're considering the bottom, which, I'm not saying that we have bottom, but if you're considering that December bottom of around 3,100, you can see that we have about an 84% drop. So again, they're very different. And the reason I'm pointing this out is because so many people ask me, and so many people speculate, based off the past, the future is going to be this, And what I want to point out is that every past bear market or retracement is very different than the next. So it's very important to note that. You're not going to, just because you see X here, you're not going to get Y the same. They're just different. So just be careful when you're looking at the charts, and know that anything can change where the future is going to go. And we'll get further into that with the other charts I'm going to bring up. Now we can go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin in general. Let's go ahead and go to the daily here and take a look. We'll zoom in. And I got some funny little things popping up here. It's basically due to my new Twitter. Here you can find me at Circle Crypto or Crypto Secret Circle. I have 26 followers. It's definitely just started recently, a couple days ago. But here I post really oversimplified charts like this. They're pretty funny looking. Here's another chart. This is the shorts chart. There's all different kinds of charts. It's not just Bitcoin. There's altcoins. You can kind of get little interesting tidbits of what I think is going on, or just informational charts here. This it's where I'm kind of talking about the shorts. Are the shorts going to get wrecked? And here I say, subscribe for more. Momo will get you. I try to keep it pretty light on this Twitter and very basic, definitely oversimplified charts. So check it out, subscribe if you're interested. But in general, we can look at Bitcoin now. We can see that we're back on top of the 0.382. We are forming, if this daily candle holds around this area, hopefully a little bit higher, we are forming another little bull flag looking setup. So in the near future, what I'm hoping, if we go ahead and look at our indicators, this RSI is only sitting at 57. We have room to grow. But what is most significant, guys, is this MACD. It does want to cross above this signal. You can see here with this histogram down here that the sell pressure is going from dark red to white. Sell pressure is definitely subsiding. So in the near future, I'm just going to keep this simple. We could see a crossover in the daily MACD, which would suggest that we are still moving up. And if we look at the weekly Bitcoin chart, you can see that we have crossed over. There is buying pressure showing, and we've had a couple green weeks here. So I guess basically overall what I'm thinking is that we still have momentum upward, but stop losses are set. Now let's go ahead and talk about everything else. Now, this is my YouTube channel. And, this article. This was an interesting article. It's by Cointelegraph. It's titled Bitcoin Users, Who They Are and What They Do. I'll go ahead and link it down below for you guys. But what I thought was interesting, now this is a very oversimplified little piece they put together, but it says who uses Bitcoin. Generally between 25 and years 34, generally male. 53% are either North or South American. Non-religious, 61% of Bitcoin users do not consider themselves to be actually religious. 23.9% have a yearly household income of 50 to 100K per year. 56% are married. 43% are employed. 37% are libertarian. And 77% are generous. So this was very interesting. It's definitely oversimplified, but it gives you an idea of who the majority of Bitcoin users are. And I find this very interesting because if you're looking at, where Bitcoin is, if only this age group is the mass of the users, there's definitely a lot of room to grow, because this age group kind of consists of the people that would be most adaptive to early and new technology. So if you think about that, that means that we are definitely in the infancy, because until grandma is using Bitcoin, you you're really not in the end stage of where this technology goes. So it's very interesting. 90% male, 53% American. There's this technology is not just a U.S. technology. This is going to be, it's for the world. So we want to see this percentage definitely break up into all the other countries. So you can tell that there's a lot of room to grow. I did think this was pretty interesting. Libertarian. I don't like to get political, but I do like the libertarian movement, and I find it kind of interesting that 27 or 37%, that's a pretty big percent, kind of identify as libertarian. They like freedom and the ability to kind of do what they want. So you can kind of tell just based off this oversimplified data that we really are in the infancy. So I wanted to kind of bring this up because it kind of segues into this chart here. Now, again, we haven't seen this chart kind of circulating amongst YouTube for a while. I haven't really seen any other YouTubers bring this up, so I wanted to bring it up because it goes along with what I'm talking about. Now, this chart, we're going to go to the top. This is a Medium article that was written in December 27th of 2016. So this has a really interesting kind of view, because this is someone that wrote it back in 2016, before 2017 when the bull market kind of peaked. So I would definitely say look at this and kind of read through it to kind of get an idea of where Bitcoin's going also, because he made a lot of good points and they really do kind of show that he understood where Bitcoin is going based off this chart here. So I want to explain the chart. This talks about the theory. We'll just kind of read through it real quick. It says the growth of adoption of Bitcoin, and therefore Bitcoin price, is following an S-curve of technological adoption, which is itself characterized by fractally repeating, exponentially increasing Gartner hype cycles. This theory represents an overarching long-term fundamental factor that dwarfs the effects of fundamentals such as exchange hackings. That's a big thing. We've seen so many exchange hackings happening recently. Government regulatory announcements. We've seen tons of announcements of government, all the issues in India, China, supposedly banning crypto last year or in 2017. And then it says changes in economic policy and further technological advancement of the protocol, like in Venezuela. And here it says, although it is important to note that these other fundamentals may spur transitions between the Gartner hype cycle stages. So essentially what this is saying here is that this chart kind of supersedes these kind of lower factors. And these factors here, we see them as huge factors, especially when we're going through them. When China supposedly banned crypto, I remember everyone just talking about it and being scared, and the way the market fluctuated, and all throughout these different factors, you can, in the time while you're going through them, you see all these different changes, but this chart here kind of supersedes it. So it's pretty interesting. Let's take a look at it. Here, just to kind of explain it a little more specifically, It outlines the beginning, which is the innovators, the early adopters, which are next, the early majority, the late majority, and the laggards. And that's represented down here by this bell. And then this S, the yellow line, is representing the market share. So people from the start, 0 to 100% adoption of Bitcoin, or you could kind of extrapolate to cryptocurrencies and blockchain. So it's pretty interesting. You can see here that at the very beginning, 2.5% of the innovators. This is the only 2.5%, and over here 13.5% early adopters. And based off a lot of statistics that have come out just recently, and we're going to kind of segue again here. Now you guys got to try to keep track because I'm moving kind of quickly and going through these articles, but I'm going to sum this up to kind of tell you where I think we are. In this article here, this is a article from the Bitcoin Market Journal. They actually say 5% of Americans hold Bitcoin, and of course, based off this here, we know that Americans are the majority of Bitcoin holders. So this kind of represents this 5% of Americans being Bitcoin holders is significant because they're the majority of all of the people that use cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. You can see here it says a survey conducted by Global Blockchain Council and SurveyMonkey that was taken by 5,000 Americans found that 60% of Americans have heard of Bitcoin and that around 5% hold the digital currency. If you would extrapolate that to the entire U.S. population, that would mean that an estimated 16 million Americans have invested in Bitcoin. So this is really interesting because this kind of gives you, again, an idea that we are still in the infancy of, this whole movement. This movement is truly the fourth industrial revolution. We are just at the start, and you can see that just because, only 5% of Americans hold Bitcoin. 60% know about it, but only 5% actually have it, and you could say almost use it possibly. And this is very interesting because it really gives you an idea of where we are. Further down in this article, it kind of also it gives another graph about where a lot of other technologies kind of were and how they moved from back, showing technologies that started in early 1900 to present day. You can see technologies like the telephone, the automobile, washing machines, cell phones, microwaves, refrigerators, and how they kind of created this S pattern of adoption. And it really kind of shows you where technology kind of goes. And this graph here kind of represents a lot of other technologies, and it shows you why this graph is significant, because most technologies kind of form this S-shaped pattern. And basically what this tells me, looking at all these different pieces of data, what this shows me is that if only 5% are holding Bitcoin, I also read something where 3% are even holding altcoins. So even a smaller amount are holding altcoins, and everyone knows that, obviously. But with such a very small amount, I would say that we really are between the innovators and early adapters. So we're right here on this chart. And I remember back in 2017, people were saying that we were the early majority, and this was the last bull run. Back in 2017, they were saying we're here, and that this was the last time that you were ever going to be able to make a large, significant amount of money. But what I'm telling you guys is this. We're here, guys. We're definitely here. I mean, you have projects that don't have, really anything beyond a white paper. You have projects that are developing their wallets. You have projects that are just pretty much developed kind of like in the middle of their entire path, so they're still basically innovating, because believe me, it's innovation. This is a start of something. This isn't stuff that has already been built and it's easily recreated or kind of basically made differently but similar. This is innovation. So we're definitely here in this area where we're in between innovation and early adapters. There's most of you guys that are watching, you guys are probably all barely getting into using Bitcoin. I don't know how many of you guys have actually spent Bitcoin outside at a store. So adopters would be people that actually use this technology, and if the technology is still being made, we're here. So I find this interesting because we're here, and there's so much more room to grow. You can see this bell graph here. We haven't even seen the early majority at 34%. We're not even close to that, guys. So there is still plenty of room to get in this space, create your own business, network with people, and create your own. Anything. The sky is the limit. I really wanted to make this video, guys, because I want to encourage all of you to realize where we are on the grand spectrum of this technology, this new fourth industrial revolution, and to be excited to realize that there's not just money to be made still, but there's so much room to grow and innovate yourself in this space. So with all the other articles that I've kind of shown you guys, we can definitely see that we're only here and there's so much more room to grow. So I wanted to point that out. Again, definitely check out the Cardano effect and their recent 22nd episode. I'm, again, very humbled to be mentioned. And, of course, check out the Cardano progress update from Sebastian. There was something that's very interesting to me that's rolling out very soon. Sebastian was talking about it. He said that basically we should see Trezor being available for Cardano soon. And really, we're really just waiting on Trezor to be to roll out the process, check their check boxes, and give us the ability to use Trezor for Cardano. So there's so much more that he kind of went through. So definitely check out his video. And yeah, guys, that is pretty much the sum of this video. I mean, it's just interesting, guys. We're really at the beginning. There's so much more to look forward to. If you're here for the gains, guys, there's definitely, not financial advice. There's definitely a lot of gains to be had still. But anyways, hope you all are doing well. Never give up on the future of money.